Jim Whitehead of All Power Group. It's great to be here. Every day is a good day when you can get up and do some work. Okay, what we're going to talk about today, and I'm kind of what I would call an animal channel for different reasons. One is my profound loving of all animals generally, but also I always had dogs when I grew up, and my mother was, and I've mentioned this before, my mother was a wonderful lady that would give her life for a dog, So anyway, today we're going to be talking about, and I know a lot of these are sad, but we do our best to honor and recognize something that is so special. Anyway, oops, I'm sorry. I do this all the time. Hey, well, this is live. All right, so today we're going to talk about Hachiko, the dog that never left. A common dog, but I think they're all beautiful. And I always say, honestly, that I fall in love with every dog I meet. There's never a dog that I look at and go, I don't really care very much for that dog. No, they're all wonderful. Even if they're going to bite my butt, that's okay, because they're usually what they're doing is they're protecting someone. Well, anyway, let's get going on the whole process here. Hachiko was born on November 10th, 1923, on a farm near the city of Odate, an Akita prefecture in Japan. He was an Akita, a large breed of dog known for its loyalty and strength. Now, he had a relationship with Professor right? You know him. Anyway, he was adopted by Hachiko, a professor at the University of Tokyo in 1924. As when I was just finished saying how much I love dogs and what have you, and I love all dogs I see, cats, there's not really anybody that gets left out. I often say to people, it sure is good that I don't have the same trait related to women. Because if every woman you met, if you fell in love with them, we'd be in a lot of trouble. So thankfully, I chose the right type of animal to have it where I don't get myself in trouble. Okay, Hachiko's daily routine developed a routine of meeting Professor Uno at the Shibuya station, railroad station, every day when he returned from work. I saw a short description of this many years ago, and I still to this day remember and feel bad about the whole thing. Beautiful dog. Anyway, he would meet him, and wait for him to come back on the train. Unwaveringly loyal, on May 21st, 1925, Professor Uno unexpectedly died of a cerebral hemorrhage while at work and never returned to the station. Now, the daily vigil, despite his owner's death, Hachiko continued to wait at the station every day for nearly 10 years, hoping for his master's return. You know, it's, you know, I love them, I love them, I love them. And I know people that are watching this probably love them, love them, and love them. He became a familiar sight at the station, capturing the hearts of commuters and locals. And you know, there'd be some people that say, and thank God, would, in essence, grab onto him as looking forward to seeing him and patting them and maybe bringing them some little treats or food or water. Okay, the recognition and fame, public awareness. His story became widely known in 1932 when a former student of Professor Uno published the several articles about the dog's remarkable loyalty. These stories appeared in various Japanese newspapers, elevating Hachiko to national fame. In 1934, a bronze statue of him was erected at that station, with Hachiko himself present at the unveiling. And you know, dogs are smart. They knew, he knew what they were doing. Anyway, the statue became a symbol of loyal and fidelity. Okay, everybody's life all comes to an end. Hachiko passed away March 8th of 1935 on a street near that station. He was found lifeless, and it was later determined that he had terminal cancer and a filaria infection. You know, we all get into heaven. Do you believe in heaven? Do you believe in hell? On the positive note, you want to feel, and this is not a religious statement or a point, you want to feel that Hachiko, again, you know, I'm pretty, my common fault is I mess up words. Each time I say it, it might be different, but it's okay. You know what I'm getting at. Anyway, his ashes were cremated and were buried next to Professor Uno's grave at Nomama Cemetery in Tokyo. His fur was preserved and displayed at the National Museum of Nature and Science in Tokyo. Okay, the cultural impact. We love, and in a good way, when people are loyal. Because part of our problem in the world is, and you get into all the scamming and the advantage points that people get involved with, they're not being loyal, they're not being honest. And really, especially as I've gotten older, maybe when I was younger, I wasn't as honest and caring and all the things that you would describe a good person. But as I've progressed in years, thank goodness, I just love animals and love people, and not everybody, but you know how that goes. It'd be real nice if the world wasn't so angry all the time. I mean, a lot of people are not, but a lot of people are, and that's kind of a sad life. Okay, he is remembered as a symbol of unwavering loyalty and devotion. His story has been celebrated in various forms of media, including books, films, and television shows. They also have an annual ceremony every year on April 8th at that station to honor Hachiko's memory and celebrate his loyalty. The events attract many people who came to pay their respects. And he knows that. Okay, in popular culture, his story has been adapted, into several films, most notably the 1987 Japanese film Hachiko Monogatari and the 2009 American film Hachi, a Dog Tale starring Richard Gere. Now, I like Richard Gere. He's a pretty good actor. He must love dogs. And you'd say, well, why are you connecting those dots? You know, most actors realize that certain things they do in the sense of filming is either going to be good for their career or not good for their career. And in some cases, we read all the time, people actually, their career ended by, I guess you might say, the last movie. But Richard Gere is a good person, and I'm sure he was honored to basically do this movie. Books and stories, numerous books and children's stories have been written about him, further cementing his legacy as an example of devotion and loyalty. You know, when I was younger, I probably wasn't, as I said, I was not as loyal as I should have been. You know, we all have skeletons, but I'd say beginning when I was pretty much in my late 30s, I kind of grew up and said, you know, you got to be good and you got to take care of people that you love and love you. Okay. Statues and monuments. At that station, the original bronze statue at that Shibuya station is a popular meeting spot and tourist attraction. So I guess you could say he's never died. He's in everybody's heart. And I don't want to make it sound mushy, but that's exactly how I feel. No good person, animal, or deed should go unnoticed or be forgotten. Okay, the statue was temporarily melted down during World War II. We love our wars, don't we? I mean, just in reference to a statue, an invading force would take it, because it was, I think, as I said, bronze, they would melt it. Okay, why? We should melt you. Anyway, so it was rebuilt, thank goodness, in 1948. Odate City, Hachiko's birthplace, also features a statue of him and a small museum dedicated to his story. You know, I guess when there is so much information that stays and gets increased or added to, you can almost say they never die. And that's would be the choice that I would certainly want for any animal or person that has risen to this level. Okay, University of Tokyo. In 2015, a new statue depicting the reunion of Hachiko and the professor was unveiled on the University of Tokyo's campus. Okay, and you know, you say if they're still doing things for this wonderful animal, again, he's not dead. He's in our hearts. Okay, his enduring legacy is a powerful reminder of the deep bond that can exist between humans and animals. His story continues to inspire and touch the hearts of people around the world, symbolizing loyalty, love, and the timeless connection between a dog and its owner. You know, you've met Jamie. She's the CEO of All Power Group. But, you know, in reality, she's a wonderful Shih Tzu. And she's 9 years old. We worry about her every day. I mean, I always say I couldn't love you more. And I don't want her to die, but I know she will. But she will always be in our hearts. And you can't see it, but in the front, and I know I get off on these tangents, but it's fun and it makes me feel good. Anyway, I lost, before we brought Jamie home in 2014, we had Shiny. She was, I get her from, you know, a shelter back about 9 years earlier. And I loved her so much. And unfortunately, my neighbor at the time over in Davie, he hit her with his car. Now, we had a relatively small neighborhood. This shouldn't have happened. Totally my fault. Because I used to take her out, I'd carry her out I'd sit down and put her down. She'd, you know, walk around a little bit. And she went in the road. And again, it wasn't a road that you'd say, what are you, crazy? But this guy, and I can't say it, I ever really felt good, hit her and killed her. And that was one of the, probably in my life, when you can add up and say, well, this was not good, this was terrible, this is terrible. That's right up there. She was wonderful. And when I think about it, I know it was my fault. I mean, yeah, it was him hitting her, but I took her out on our driveway, yada, 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 and on a chair. Now, what we did after that, because as I mentioned, we did bring Jamie home. We, right out what was our breakfast area, we put fencing in just for Jamie. And we always will never do anything or have it where they get in where this can ever happen again. And, you know, I know it's sad when you do something wrong, but part of it is if you own up to it, recognize that what you've done, but make sure it doesn't happen again. You know, don't keep repeating and thinking things are going to be different. Okay, that was my happy, sad story of the day. And I, you know, looked these up, and I never want it where I'm doing something that feels like you're taking advantage, in this case, of an animal and their history. The other side of the coin, we recognize that when this goes back over 100 years, and people are still honoring our wonderful dog. So, again, they never die. Anyway, thank you for being here. I enjoy seeing you on these days, and thank you again, and I hope I will see you in the next one. So be well, stay well, and try to have a little fun.